Underwear.
Unterwäsche.
Sporty pants. Bed pants, just right, pants.
It's got to be big. It's got to cover everything. It's got to feel like it's not there, but when the wind blows or when one accidentally bends down, it needs to be totally, solidly, unabashedly present.
I just want a pair of underwear, or knickers as the Brits call them.
Y-front jocks.
I wear boxer shorts.
I tried boxer shorts, but they always just rode up, gave me a wedgie. And I tried briefs, and they were the same thing. The little legs always just rode up and were very uncomfortable, so I was stuck with Y-fronts.
Boxer shorts are sold in the men's clothing department. And so when I go and buy them, usually a crowd of shop assistants will appear and they'll ask me, who are these for?
Don't forget about my most comfy pair of pants.
They are excessively robust.
It was for a women's charity in Glasgow, which have empowerment pants written across the top.
It's got to be firm, solid, firm, sturdy.
2. Cover the crotch. Cover my lower abdomen. I want to feel nicely tucked in there, you know?
Today I'm wearing sporty pants. This is because when I got up this morning, I went for a walk up the hill and back and I wore leggings. If I'm wearing leggings, I need sporty pants underneath. My sporty pants are sweat wicking and leave no visible line.
And I certainly do not need a thong.
I normally wear strings on an everyday basis. I started doing this when I started wearing tight running tights because they just didn't show through. And then decided I actually quite like them. They felt the least restrictive and the most comfortable, unexpectedly.
Don't want any jiggles. The thing I fear most is jiggling in meetings.
I was chatting to another friend, and that's how I'd met him and his wife for a pair of pants that said "bite me" on the bottom. And yes, I was just wearing the pants.
All this thinking about pants has drawn my attention to a beautiful pair of pants that lie in the bottom of my underwear drawer, smothered by sporty pants, emergency/bed pants, and my usual everyday just right pants.
I also have a few pairs of, just panties, and I'll put those on if I have a doctor's appointment or something along those lines where I might have to take my trousers off to be examined.
Always wear clean underwear.
I look at underwear and think, oh my goodness, I wouldn't want to be run over if I was wearing these. They're all a bit old and tatty. But I remember actually, in a quite practical sense, on the time when I was knocked down when I was 12. Knocked down and broke both my legs. It had been quite a week for me that week. I'd started my periods on the Monday, and on the Friday I was knocked down. I remember afterwards realising that they'd had to cut my underwear off.
The two old people were sitting quietly up against the wall in a corner of the caring home. Holding hands, they seemed to breathe together in one gentle breath of love. Motionless for a long time, a sudden event disrupted the idyll. She wet herself. Helpers coming to get her clean underwear. The old couple had to untie the hands, and she was taken away.
No time for skimpy, uncomfortable knickers when you're, got a torn vagina and everything's sore.
Fields was one of those super cheap stores where you could find the most bizarre items at weirdly low prices. They had this bulk bin of $1 underwear, and I usually bought 12 pairs in a go. 12 pairs, $12. Seemed fair. And if I soiled them, I could happily throw them away, knowing that they served their purpose well.
Who makes our underwear? What sustainable and fair trade ethics can we follow?
With COVID-19 still raging, we're in the third wave right now in Toronto, Ontario. I've taken to mending my underwear that I still have.
As you'll be messaging me, I've actually been I've been sitting in my little cabin trying to work out a pattern for some comfortable underwear.
stitch in hand, I've been trying to keep these bad boys from fully leaving me in the commando zone. Let's just say, it's desperate times.
One of the things I struggle with is actually getting rid of old underwear. It seems to have a very personal connection with me, which probably isn't surprising as we wear it on such intimate parts of our body and on parts of our body that it's traditional for us to keep covered.
In my bag of underwear, I have the big beige granny pants that my mum sent me when I was pregnant. They were so hideous and they were so unsexy, but wow, were they practical, especially after a C-section. Came up nice and high and comfy over your waist.
Post-birth, obviously, you just need to be comfy. I always give my friends who've just had a baby a pack of like granny knickers that come right up above your belly button, because
I don't wear them, and I haven't for a long time now.
and I think in the end of all of my pregnancies I couldn't bear to wear any underwear, which has continued really. I still often am like, no, I feel like I'm just going to wear my comfy trackies or whatever it is, and a pair of knickers would just hinder my comfort.
A long time ago, I was living somewhere tropical, and it was very sweaty, and it just occurred to me that they weren't serving any purpose. My underwear wasn't serving any purpose anymore. And so, just like that, I decided to stop wearing them, and I threw them all out, and it was so liberating to be able to do that.
I've realised that underwear is not essential.
So I stopped wearing underwear.
I'm just going to wear what I like, and I'm not going to worry too much about what other people think, because quite frankly, life's too short to spend worrying about other people.
It was white underwear. He started to laugh and cry out, "Dress code red! Dress code red!"
Just remembering, like the marathon preparations it would be to get ready to go out clubbing for the night, and the many different things that I'd be constantly factoring into my preparations around what to wear, how I wanted to look, and even to some degree, I would be preparing for the end of the night. It was often a goal was to meet someone and to have a sexual experience. And my underwear would be a big part of that. It would shape, that would be, that intention would really shape my choices around what underwear I'd wear, with the goal of benefiting the person that I chose to be with.
His body was responsive. He couldn't get out of his fuzzy mind the images of red fabric in her underwear. When they were young, she used to choose simple and colorful pieces, the perfect cut of her underwear defining her sexy waist. She was still sexy as an old woman and wild.
A couple of years ago, I dated 3 guys, and each one of those people, I bought different underwear for them.
If I was lucky enough to make it with a woman, I would always try and take off my pants and underpants at the same time, or my shorts and underpants at the same time, because I was embarrassed by them.
What kind of underwear they wear and how it gives them confidence and how it gives them this feeling of being sensual and powerful and connected to their sexuality. And part of me just was sort of musing on this and wondering where that comes from.
They are lacy pants.
I don't need lace, though I probably shouldn't admit that.
They are an exotic colour, coral no less. They are unworn and still have the label attached. They look as if they will be hideously uncomfortable and not stay quite where I'd like them to. Bought in a moment when I imagined myself a different kind of pant wearer.
Have I been taught that lacy underwear underneath my clothes makes me feel more sexual, more powerful? And is that where my feelings coming from, or is it actually my feelings? Like, is it really how I feel?
Unterwäsche. Wenn darüber geredet wird, dann ist es meistens Sch. Dreckige Wäsche wird gewaschen. Auch sie wird irgendwann zu Asche.
There's a rule I try very hard to live by, and that's don't wear anything that doesn't make me feel fabulous. And my underwear didn't, so I don't wear it.
But they didn't make you feel fabulous, and there is something about underwear and feeling fabulous.
I feel as a woman under a great deal of pressure to dress for men in terms of my underwear, so like stockings, suspender belts, all of that kind of thing. And, you know, I told myself for a long time, oh, it's all about empowerment, it's all about what I want to wear. But it isn't, is it? Because it's really uncomfortable.
I wonder how much power I gave away in thinking about the other person and how they would think of me and what their judgment would be, and how that would determine my level of comfort in what I choose to wear and what I chose to buy.
What do I like?
I don't really like white knickers.
Life is too short for white underwear, she used to say firmly, insulted by the very thought of having to wear a pair of plain white knickers. Had the bloody Alzheimer not blurred his mind, he could have explained that she wanted red underwear, rather than just shouting dress code red, utterance that no one seemed to get.
Because, like I said, they didn't make me feel sexy.
Even if nobody was going to see it, my main objective was to look nice in my underwear. And I still do want to look nice in my underwear, but the main thing is that it's comfortable.
But it's all about comfort. That's what it comes down to. If it's comfortable, it's probably also going to look good. If it fits well, you know, it's probably also going to look good.
Like, is it a real thing? Is this the style of our underwear, the fabric of our underwear? Does it really give us those feelings, or are we taught to feel that way from the cradle? Like, brought up in this culture, brought up in this society that values material possessions, and inundated with advertising material from such a young age.
And it scares me about how gendered and how sexy pants are for 2-year-olds. Disturbing. I chose some ones from the boys' range because they didn't have elastic frills that were going to dig into her thighs. And they actually had patterns and prints that she liked.
When I was a young girl and wasn't very good at saying no yet, my grandma kept giving me her old underwear.
I have got a thing about underwear, haven't I? The number of people I bought pants for.
When I turned 30, one of my best and oldest friends from back home from Germany gave me a pair of boxer shorts that were actually the Union Jack. So a pair of Union Jack boxer shorts.
Chatting to someone else, they said that they still called me Alice Woolpants. Years ago, I had a boyfriend, and for his Christmas present, I knitted him a pair of UV woolen underpants because he was a farmer, and I thought that would keep him warm with the sheep in the winter. The relationship didn't last long, but the pants were fantastic. They had even a little pocket. It was my condom pocket. I thought it was quite cute.
In a way, it was still weird because he gave me underwear.
One of my friends and I wore the same pair of underwear when we gave quite a radical paper at a conference that said, "Here come the girls."
Imagine that, a young girl trying to find her place in the world, trying to explore her sexuality, walking around in her grandma's worn undies.
But nevertheless, it felt funny being gifted underwear from a mate, and on top of that then wearing the Union Jack around my bum.
I've always had a thing for nipple tassels, although I'm not sure if they count really as underwear. I graduated in a pair of nipple tassels. underneath my dress and my bra and my gown. I walked across that stage, getting that PhD. Slight little fuck you to the academy. We can put a smart dress on, put your suit on. But what are you wearing underneath? Does anyone know? Does it matter? Who do you dress for? These silent, secret smalls.
Yeah, so that's my brief description of my feelings towards underwear.